Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are every day. People like to welcome you all to the show, right? Now, today we are doing another Black History moment, but we're dealing with Black History on the medical side, and in particularly with females, right? And so we have a special guest, and she's gonna talk to you guys about her ordeal and dealing with breast cancer. But first, I'd like to welcome our panel, who's always with us, and that's Roc Conscious. How you feeling today, Roc Conscious?
Great.
All right, good.
Everybody.
Right. And that's
Right.
now the guest of the hour, Valarie McDaniels. How you doing today, Valarie?
Woo, stronger than ever. Ready.
So look, this is what we finna do, right? Look, okay, we going right here. We're gonna start with Myra Adele Logan, right? She's born 1908. She died January 13, 1977. Is known as the first African American female physician, surgeon, and autonomous to perform a successful open heart surgery. Following this accomplishment, Logan focused her work on children's heart surgery and was involved in the development of antibiotics. She cured ricket Sayel disease with the majority of her medical practice done at the Harlem Hospital in New York. Logan attended medical school during the pre-civil rights era. The majority of Black female physicians wasn't allowed to integrate and attend certain schools, right?
Wow, yes.
That was, and we say the best for last. That was Myra Adele Logan. So we're gonna say the best for last. We have another.
Okay.
This is Rebecca Lee Crumpler, was an American physician, nurse, and author. She was the first African American female doctor of medicine qualifying at the New England Female Medical College in 1864. Crumpler was also one of the first female physician authors in the 19th century. And of course, we all know Henrietta Lacks, right? She was the unwitting source of these cells from a tumor biopsy during treatment for cervical cancer at Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore, Maryland in 1951. These cells were then cultured by George Oda G., who created the cell line known as HeLa, which is still used for medical research. As was then the practice, no consent was required to culture the cells obtained from Lack's treatment. Neither she nor her family were compensated for the extraction or use of the HeLa cells. Even though some information about the origins of HeLa immortalized cells lines was known to researchers after 1970, the Lack's family was not made aware of the line existing until 1975. With knowledge of the cell line's genetic provenance becoming public, it's used for medical research and for commercial purpose continues to raise concern about privacy and patients' rights. Henrietta Lacks, she was born in 1921 in Virginia. She died in Baltimore. But Henrietta Lacks was the African American female that they did all. Have y'all heard of her? They did all.
Absolutely. Yes, her family has been compensated.
Right. They find, but they had, they started off medicine on us. Right? So look, but we do have another Black History moment with Valarie McDaniels, and that is the effort that she came up with and the solution in order to get treated for breast cancer and dealing with needles, where she had to come up with different ways to deal with needles because of her particular fright of needles.
Yes.
So can you go into that about some of the fears you had with the needles and things that you came up with to overcome those fears that now that they're implemented today within the practice?
Well, thank you. First of all, most of you guys already know or don't know, I have a phobia of needles, and that's actually a medical term for that. Okay. Well, I didn't know that it was actually a medical, disease or whatever to have a phobia of needles. But I come to find out it really is, guys. And for a long time, growing up as a little girl, I would be the first ones at the doctor's office and the last ones to leave because I would take off running as soon as I got there. All because my phobia of needles. So the older I got, it didn't get better, it just got worse. All right. Well, needless to say, going to the doctor was not my friend. And that's what really caused all this because I was so scared to go to the doctor to find out what was going on with my breast. So it almost cost me my life.
Mm,
So,
mm. And
yeah,
so, how did you? Which I don't know if you can ever overcome the phobia. You have to
yeah.
find ways to cope or deal with it, right?
Yeah. So, needless to say, make the long story short, what helped me get over this a little is I take a blind shade, I have a stress ball, and I have my anxiety medicine. And I take that everywhere I go. So,
Okay. Okay.
um, that helped me tremendously because everything that I had to get done involves a what? Needle.
Mm,
Everything. Or I wouldn't be here right now today.
okay.
So,
Now let's
mhm,
get into holistic
yep,
versus conventional medicine.
yep,
Uh, now, uh, Roc Conscious. I know you studied in the holistic approach to dealing with
mhm,
certain disease. Now, the information that's coming out today that we weren't privy to, say 10, 15, 20 years ago, about how most the diseases come from parasites.
yep.
Right. Can you elaborate on that a little bit, Rock, on parasites and the importance, I guess, of deworming yourself?
Well, according to the information, well, actually, there were several of my coworkers were dealing with different ailments. One in particular, she was dealing with edema, and one and also immune autoimmune disease. So I thought, like, oh, okay, what is it? How can I help her? So what I did, I began to do some research, and all the roads basically led to how about deworming, and which is something we were supposed to. It was something actually that has occurred throughout with our ancestors, and along the way we got lost and stopped doing things.
Hmm,
I guess maybe perhaps because it wasn't so emphasized, and we were concerned about how things taste and stuff like that. Because I can recall when I was a child, my mother used to give us something called aspidity,
hmm,
and we used to drink that in the form of a tea, and you wouldn't get sick. Or
hmm,
I can recall when I was younger, if a child would be sleeping, they squirm a lot. I would, you know, say, "Oh, that child must have worms or something." So they would put turpentine around their navel. So all
hmm,
those little things, throughout, like when in our culture, in other cultures, they did address things like that. But I guess with people being so set on, you know, everything the doctors say is in stone. Well, because of that, we just neglected. What about the things in the different ways that our ancestors went about to address things?
Mhm.
Those kind of things have been total obliviated. But also keep in mind that the medical field, they were aware. I wholeheartedly believe that the cause of a lot of our of ailments, that parasites were the source, or are the source. Because from
mhm,
the information that I researched with the lady, her name is Hulda Clark. She
mhm,
said, I think this was in the early 1900s, that every disease is linked to a parasite. And actually, she was a Canadian, and she was ostracized from Canada because of her desire to seek alternative treatments to treat patients for the diseases. So it
mhm,
has been known, but yet, of course, when it comes to doctors, everything is like, no, believe the doctor. And I'm not saying don't believe the doctor, but what about all the things the practices our foreparents had, our ancestors? What about those things?
Now, quick note, better. I'm thinking, we're in a year in 2026, and a lot of people are starting to go into the holistic approach, right? Now, if you
Okay.
had to do it all over again, would you go the holistic approach, or what would be your suggestion?
All right. Well, my situation was a little different. So had I had started a long time ago doing all that, yes, like cleansing and myself and doing all the right things, I would have did that. But what the problem was, by the time they caught mine, it was almost too late. I was almost at stage 4. So that holistic thing that they're talking about, maybe you whatever, it wasn't a choice for me. It wasn't a choice for me. I had to do the chemo, the radiation, the surgery. I had to do that or I wouldn't be here. Because when you wait to stage 3 and 4 and all that,
Mm-hmm.
no, I could tell you, you got to do that way in advance, but not at stage 3 and 4. No.
Yeah, I was looking at the Nanda Lewis.
Nanda
She,
Lewis.
she died,
Yes.
but she was 52. She died in a hospice after she had breast cancer.
Yes.
But she waited too late too, though.
She waited too late. But see, that's what I'm saying. She started trying to do that the holistic, and she waited too late.
But it goes back to what Roc Conscious was saying.
Yeah.
Because I remember my grandmother coming back in Louisiana, coming back from the woods with a basket with herbs or whatever, and
Right.
stated that when the seasons change, we had to take certain things and eat certain foods to get us ready going into the new season, right?
Exactly.
So
Yes.
how did we get away from all of that when we saw it, but then we just let it go?
Well, see, and back in those days, I remember how my grandparents they grew their stuff in their backyard. I'm just give you an example. Like they grew their tomatoes, they grew all of their stuff. Now we're buying all this processed food and all this other stuff that's not good for us. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
a lot of them was growing their vegetables in the backyard.
all
So
right. Look, I'm gonna tell you what's funny. My youngest, she's in school right now for medicine, right?
okay.
And she said no, she adds fiber to all her meals.
Yep,
There's no fiber and none of the food no more.
that's
That
right.
so much processed food, we're not getting any fiber. So
She's right about that.
I'm
She's
looking
right
at her,
about
so I'm like, okay, yeah, let me get this fiber, and she put it in eggs, she put it in everything, because she was like,
everything.
yeah, fiber, and she say fiber and electrolytes.
Yep, and
And
That
we
she's
have
doing good.
hybrid food. Almost none of the food is the original. It's hybrid.
That's right. That's right.
right.
That's right.
But okay, so do you think that could be an underlying cause of some of these diseases that's out there?
It could, because a lot of this stuff is from us, from what we eat. I kid
Right,
you not.
right.
I'm gonna just tell y'all, I never smoked a day in my life. I
Mm.
never drink nothing. I don't drink, smoke, do drugs, never. So I caught cancer just around from the environment. The cancer that I had was due to my hormones. All right, it was HER2 positive. It was from the environment and what I ate. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened to me. I never
Wow.
even knew anything about breast cancer due to your hormones. I didn't know that at all.
Do,
But that's exactly what happened.
yeah, do y'all notice how whenever you go to the doctor, and I don't care, basically what ails you, they'll give you a set of dietary rules to follow.
They sure will. They sure will.
It's just funny, like, like what's
They
going
sure
on.
will.
And you know what's funny too, though? I remember when Michelle Obama was in office and she tried to change the diet that was in the
School
kitchen
system.
school system. And they jumped out on it. And matter of fact, they changed and put the sodas and stuff back in there. It's like, what's going on? What's going on?
Right.
So I'm thinking,
Sad.
is each individual is responsible for their health?
Yes,
Because the
Rich.
government, yeah,
They don't care, man. I'm serious. But we gotta go to the doctor. That's another thing. I know a lot of people wait till the last minute to go to the doctor, and I'm one of them. All right. And by the time you do go to the doctor, majority of the time it's too late. You know.
Right.
So even the men, I'm serious. I'm finding out more and more men, they wait to go to the doctor, and by the time they do go to the doctor, it's already spreaded and it's stage 3 and 4 prostate cancer or whatever. I'm just giving you an example because nobody wants to go to the doctor.
right.
Early detection can really, really save your life.
Okay.
Ms. McDaniel has finished her treatment and she is going to ring that bell.
Okay, so I want to make a disclaimer really quick. I would like to say I am not a licensed medical professional who I claim to be. The information I'm about to provide is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for
Right.
professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Now, what I've done is because, like I said, because a lot of my coworkers, they were having health issues. One guy had prostate cancer. Someone else had something else. Even one of my friends, her aunt. What is it called when the breast it metastasizes? Is that where it becomes all like infected and open and sore? It has the sores on it or whatever. Well, my friend's aunt breast was like that. And so what I did, I began to do some research. And there's a white lady. I got to think of her name, but I did document it. But anyway, because I had been watching her and I watch it's certain doctors I watch, like Dr. Eric Berg and the lady. So the lady mentioned about having to make this compression to go on the breast. So I told my friend about that. I told my friend to get her aunt some ivermectin because her aunt, one thing for sure, she was smart enough not to do the chemotherapy, because if people would only know the origin of it, the origin of the chemotherapy, it is the origin of it that is a bioweapon, which was mustard gas used in World War I. The United States used it against the enemy. So someone came up with a bright idea to make it into a nitrogen gas and to treat people with cancer. So that's why it's like when you do the treatment, oftentimes what it does, and it is good blood cells and the bad ones. So a lot of times, like with the treatment, people end up having they can have to go to dialysis because it destroys their kidneys, or women who because of breast cancer, they end up having heart trouble. And I mean, even the medicine will tell you on the commercial happens.
Yeah.
So now what's happening, a lot of people, and I'm in some groups on Facebook, because there was a man here that was here in Houston attending MD Anderson for treatment. They sent him home and told him they couldn't do anything more for him. They couldn't help him. So this gentleman happened to have a friend that was a veterinarian. The veterinarian told him take the ivermectin. He took the ivermectin and the fenbendazole, which is a horse dewormer and a dog dewormer. And guess what? Basically, what he did, it ate those parasites up. He basically ate everything out because it's already been led. They've been knowing basically that those it can come in a form of tumors, in the form of cysts. What'll happen, they be in your body and they begin to overload the body, go and encapsulate it and enclose it, right? And the body will keep trying to do that. So if they go in and do a biopsy, it could cause it to spread, or this, that, and the other. So again, like I was saying, a lot of people now, they're opting not to do the chemo. They're going for the The ivermectin and the fenbendazole. And the ivermectin was originally made for humans, and it was made. The doctors, they won a Nobel Peace Prize for one, and then otherwise in Africa, when people would drink the water, because all the bacteria, germs in it, it will give them river blindness, and it will blind them. So now that's almost like it doesn't happen as much like that because they do the ivermectin treatment. So, like I said, I'm in groups on Facebook where people are giving test after testimony, even when they're in those late stages of cancer. And guess what? When they go back to the doctor, their numbers are down, and some of them have actually let their doctors know, and some doctors have said, "Hey, go ahead and take it," and basically their numbers have gone down with whatever
That's
that is,
good.
that count they have. So yeah, it is some other things to do. And in fact, it's like if you don't want to take the man-made things, there are herbs. There are herbs that actually go into to kill the parasites in the body, and also there are herbs to help you expel them if you choose to do it the natural way. Like I said, I wouldn't have known about it until I began to do the research, and then I was like, okay, then. And you're getting all these people saying this or whatever, and the doctors are like, they know. In fact, right now, like with my coworker, because he had he had the prostate cancer. Some told me to go and look it up, and so I did. When I looked it up, lo and behold, there was a black man, and when they went in to do what they did, they found out that there were parasites, and you can actually look that up. But I also documented, because when I did my research, I documented where I got the information for. And right now, there are studies being conducted with using an ivermectin to treat the cancer. So those studies, and not only this, just when people began to start utilizing it more, one state has put in put in the bill to where it could be people can get it over the counter for the pharmacy, but you have to get it. Same thing here. Same thing is happening here in Texas. So people could be able to deworm themselves. You will be able to go to the pharmacy and get it without having to go through the doctor. So I say this: they've been knowing about the ivermectin. They've been knowing about it for years, but you can't make no money when people can heal themselves.
Right.
So the man who was here going to MD and said he bought, let's say, the ivermectin and the fenbendazole. Let's say he paid under $30 for him. He cured himself of the cancer.
Yeah,
So I say that's a shame. They've been knowing that, and so many people have suffered and died.
Yeah, but the thing is, we have to, as a community, though, we have to
get this out.
Yeah,
yes.
like you said, Val. Men don't like going to the doctor.
They don't. I'm serious. You got to
go. But a lot of us say that, hey, if it happens, it happens, or we wait till it's too late, and then we try to do the holistic, but it's too late. So bad, and so now your family members, your loved ones are automatically gonna rush you to the hospital once it gets to a certain stage.
But by that time, it's too late, Vince. I've lost so many friends within the past last year before, and the year before, and they men. And I kid you not, by the time they let somebody know, they was gone within, I'm gonna say 60 days. 60 to 90 days later, they're gone. I'm serious. All because they did not go to the doctor.
Right. But in your instances, Val, especially at the Road Center,
yes.
How did they treat you though? How was the experience?
So basically, the Road Center is the place where the females go to get their mammograms, their ultrasound, and their biopsy. Okay, and when I got there, I was in bad shape, Vince. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I was in bad shape. Okay, because the tumor that I had inside my breast was bigger than my heart. Okay?
Wow.
And a tumor on outside of my breast was shooting out blood. Okay.
Yep.
So I was pretty much almost what you call right at stage 4. Okay. So when I got there, they just had to go ahead and do the they went ahead and did their own mammogram, ultrasound, and biopsy. And when they found that out, trust me, I already knew that I only had a few more days to do what I need to do. Okay. So they immediately got me over to the oncologist. And when I got to my oncologist's office, he is immediately gave me a chemo treatment right then just to see if it was going to work. So it was like the strongest chemo that they can give somebody just to see if it was going to work, because my breast was hard as a rock. Like literally, it was hard. Okay. So after 2 weeks of that chemo treatment that he gave me, the breast started getting soft. It started getting soft. So that kind of let him know right there that I needed that right away. Right away. All right. So I did everything I had to do what was best for me. I had to get the chemo treatments, guys, and I'm not saying don't try that other ways and all of that other stuff, but I had to get the chemo. I had to have the surgery. I had to have the radiation, and I did everything that they told me to do. And I went through all my 14 treatments of immunotherapy to build my immune system back up. Because, like you say, that chemo killed everything in you. I'm serious.
It killed a parent.
It killed. I'm gonna tell y'all this. I don't want to gross y'all out, but needless to say, about the 3rd treatment that I had, I felt something moving around in my stomach. And I was like, Mom, why every time I'm laying down, something is moving around in my stomach? I had no idea what it was in my stomach moving around. Okay. And my mom said, she said, it's probably just something like she said, don't worry about that, Val. It could be just something minor. I'm like, no, because I'm eating and I'm not gaining no weight. Something got to be wrong. Well, sure enough, guys, I looked up one day and I'm like, because I look in, you know, you use the restroom, and I look in the back of the toilet and stuff. I would look in there and I would see in my bowel movement, whatever. But when I use the restroom, I would see little white. I thought it was like just normal white stuff coming out of me from the chemo, right? No, that was eggs.
Yup.
Y'all,
But you know what that can be, right?
that was a big old tapeworm inside of me. And I am not trying to, I am not gonna go. I promise y'all, when I tell y'all, I felt that moving, but I didn't know what it was at the time. Okay. And so what it was attached to my intestines, and it was growing. It was eating my food. That was eating. That's why I wasn't gaining that much weight, because the doggone tapeworm was eating my food. It was attached to my intestines. Okay.
Everything is a parasite.
I promise you. And I don't know how long, the killing part about it, Vince, I don't even know how long it had been in me. But when they started giving me those treatments, it was trying to get out of me.
That's right.
And that's why it was moving around. Vince, I promise y'all. And then I called my parents and I said something's happening, because I could feel by my 5th treatment, my stomach blew up real fast, and I ran to the restroom. I got to the restroom, Vince, and I kid you not, I ain't trying to go shot, but I kid you not,
I already know.
It felt like I shit it out. Excuse me, Vince. It felt like I shit it out a baby.
That's right. Those are the parasites. So what happens? Those parasites, especially when they gave you the chemo, it was a fight or flight. So they was fighting and doing that.
And I kid you not. So when I called my doctor, I said, "What?" I said, "Something happened, and something just came out." And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, what was that?" Because it literally came out of me, and I don't even know how long it had been in me, Vince. I can't even tell you. But what happened, the chemo was getting to it, and it was trying to get out. And they came out, Vince. They came all out.
Look, so that's the purpose of the chemo, is to flush the worms out.
And that's exactly what it did.
Harsh way. Very harsh way.
That was the harsh way. That was the harsh way.
But the holistic approach is saying, no, you can take these herbs, and you can take this, and that'll flush it out as well. But the main thing
Right.
is to get the worm
Yes.
out, though.
Get it
Right.
out.
The
But you
worm.
gotta do this way before. You know what I'm saying? Do it before. And this needs to be done on a consistent basis. You need to
Like
just,
probably
how people yes.
it's recommended 1 to 2 times a year because outside of the country, I have
Yes.
a coworker from Africa. He said, yeah, we used to do that back home. Even when I went to the place down the street from my job where I get my hair braided.
Yes.
So I was talking to the ladies about it. They was like, yeah, we do it every year. I was like, wait a minute, why nobody haven't said anything? Then I went back and it made me think. It made me think, okay, all that stuff the older people used to do.
Right.
Oh, okay, that's
Yes.
a part of that. Because
Right.
again, even
Yes.
if you eat clean, it's still the parasites
It's
on the
still
fruit and all of that. It's still
they're
on
in
the
the
clean food.
food.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
promise you, Vince, it's still there. And sure enough, it came out, Vince. And so
There you go.
I
There you
felt,
go.
when I tell you, once I did everything that I had to do, once they got all that stuff out of me or whatever, don't get me wrong, guys, I went through it, but I feel 100% better now. I'm
And
serious.
like you said that the hair grew back,
Vince,
everything started coming
I
back.
promise y'all, I don't look like what I've been through. I'm dead serious. And I was completely bald, okay? And once I finished my treatments, all of a sudden, my hair grew back, Vince. And I sent you the pictures.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it does.
My hair grew
That's
back,
what that is.
and it grew back like a baby, like baby hair. I promise y'all. So all my hair, my weight, all I've been doing is eating like I'm supposed to. I've been watching everything I eat. I've been doing everything I'm supposed to do now that I should have been doing before. Okay, and now when I tell y'all, I feel 100% better. I was all the way down to 120 pounds, but right now I am 175 pounds, and I feel great.
Come on.
Yeah.
So, wow. The
I tell
key
you
is
what, the testimony of her saying that what happened when she went to the restroom,
right.
that is
Yes.
confirmation. And that's very important.
Confirmation.
That is key. That
Yes.
is key in
Yes.
sharing with people
It can.
what you see
Yes.
with your own eyes. So
And
you
my
already
own
know
eyes.
that's what that
Thank you.
is.
Well,
And
yeah,
And
that's
that's
a
what it
shame that
was.
they've been doing that and didn't. And like I
Yep.
said, all these people have died. I've had a lot of people in my family. My dad died. I had a cousin died. Somebody
Have died.
else because
Thank
of that.
you.
Instead of them letting people know. So what I
Because no,
would say, Val, that every year, 1 to 2 times a year, you know what you need to do.
yes,
And understand that deworming
I
and
got to
doing
do
the
it.
cleanse is not the same. Deworming is totally different. I would
Thank you.
make sure that I
Different.
would do that because I plan to do it. I have my stuff. I can go show you my box. I tell you what, let me show you. I'll be right back.
Yeah, because
yeah. Wow.
make sure you show it to us, because I'm definitely gonna do it.
But you done
Because
saved a
Vince,
lot
when I
of.
tell you, I promise you, Vince, and I'm a living witness. I'm a living witness. It came out, and that's exactly what it was.
Wow. I mean,
I'm dead serious.
you just
I'm
saved,
dead serious.
saved a lot of lives.
So you have got to get this word out, and if I can help anybody, I will.
Oh yeah,
I'm
we're
telling
not through.
y'all,
We are not through because this is important. Because we got
it's out.
we got to get it out. We got disconnected from what our grandparents used to do,
Yeah.
and then the information
Yes.
not had been cut off, and so now
They
we're
got to.
getting information again, and it's time. It is actually time.
It's time, man.
That's
Yes. So I'm a living witness, and she got the box.
Okay, you see this?
Okay.
And when I went to the feed store to get it, the Mexican man in the store, the Hispanic man told me, oh yeah, make sure you get this because a lot of my cancer patients are here and this is what they use too. This is the fenbidazole. This is a dog dewormer.
Yep.
This is the ivermectin.
Yep.
And guess what I did? I did the research to try to get a protocol. Again, I'm no doctor,
Yep.
but I did the research. But just by, again, like I say, I really can appreciate you, Val, for stating and knowing and sharing with everyone what your experience was, because that says a lot. It just proof that that's what it is.
Proof.
And they, like I say, they've been
came
knowing
right out, guys. And that's all.
I do want to say this. Even with that, though, Roc Conscious, we have to still find the herb, because I know him.
But it is. See, this one to me, okay, let's just say, if you do things ahead of time, I would definitely, I agree with that. Yeah. I would definitely, if you just do, okay, now that we know, and the person is not being affected by it right now, I would do, you can do like the very natural is what I sent to you today, Cole. I sent you the very natural because I got that out of the African healing book, and it's a guy. I put that in the it's documented. You can do that and do the very natural stuff, but then when it comes to like when it's like you in a severe case, they have set up a protocol for people to take this like I mean, it's like you gotta do like a hyper amount of it to do it, or like Val said, you'll have to go to go get the chemo treatment. Right. But the thing of it is, again, what I was so
because when you get to that point, you know, you gotta move fast because time ain't on your side when you get to that point.
Right, so, and that's like you say, it's important too that people go to the doctor and get a diagnosis. I always go to the doctor to get a diagnosis, and then if you decide to self-treat. But again, like I said, my friend Aunt, she when we told her to do what she did, guess what? That breast healed because it was bleeding and doing all that other stuff. Yeah.
Well, I gotta hear and go get what you showed, because this is one thing that I know. Once they start seeing, a lot of us start learning about this particular treatment as far as the dewormer for the horse dog.
They're gonna take it off the shelves. They're gonna take it off the shelves.
They might, but here's the thing. Opposed to them taking it, which I got me a lot of it, opposed to them taking it, what they did, like I told you what they did. In response, how about you get it from the pharmacist? All of a sudden, they want to make it available for you to get it from the pharmacy without a prescription. So in my opinion, would I get the prescription for human, and the prescription would be for humans. But then my mind said, what if they do something to it? So guess what? I'd rather go back to do this.
Right.
Because that's how we know how certain entities do things. So I'd rather do the horse dewormer and the dog dewormer.
So, but I get it now. Whatever you have, because I had another person, somebody I knew, who had cancer. And I think that the main thing is to get the worms out of you. And what method they use,
that's what you got to get.
Because they put no telling how much they charge to do that chemo versus taking a medication.
It's very
a lot of money, Vince. One treatment. I'm telling y'all, if I didn't have insurance, I wouldn't be here. I'm just to straight up tell you like that. That doggone one chemo treatment by itself is like $30,000 a treatment. Do you hear me?
Wow.
It's ridiculous, overpriced. Wow. And then after I got my treatments, I'm telling y'all, I looked at the bill. They billing us like crazy. I'm serious. And then when I got my immunotherapy, I had to get 14 immunotherapy treatments. All right, and each one of those by itself was like $8,000 a piece. $8,000. Just hit my insurance up for $8,000, and I had to get 14 of those. All right, not on top of the radiation that I had to get, and not on top of the surgery that I had to have. But I'm telling y'all, they eating up.
They making money.
Thank God I had insurance. They making money.
That's right. So if anybody come against that, you're a problem. You'll get taken out because if
Thank
you
you.
create a
They'll
solution,
take you
that's
out.
a problem. But again, it's so many people self-treating themselves.
Right there.
Being successful, they can't. What can they do?
Well,
But the
yeah,
man,
because
Thank you.
but the one man who really sparked everything off, I'm trying to think it's his last name, Hogan. I can't remember this man's name, but I put it in my paper. But anyway, the man that sparked it off, the FBI was coming to his house.
Yeah.
mm,
Because I'm
'Cause he
telling you,
was
if you
telling
do too
people
much and
about
tell
it.
everybody, yes, they gonna find you. Okay. Let me
wow,
get up. Let me.
wow, that is serious. Yo, that was serious. Look, it got so serious that it shut the show down. Yeah, because she's frozen. It shut the show down. That was, but
Okay,
it was
let's
great.
see if she can come back.
Let's see if she can come back.
It's still recording.
Yeah, we still recording. After we broke this information, which we didn't break the information because everybody is doing it anyway. We're
Right,
just
exactly. It's all over. It's all over Facebook. They have groups, and these
right.
people are giving testimony after testimony.
And you know, when the economy is bad and people don't have insurance, and that's a lot of what the fight is about Obamacare, and things are changing because people saying, the doctors saying, hey, these folks got insurance, pay for this treatment. If not, they're going to seek other ways, and we're going to be losing money. So,
Mhm.
wow,
And people will do it. Hold on, let me see, man.
wow. Okay, well, that's what that is. She's out. We might have to end this one on a hot note.
Hold on a minute.
And so, this is very interesting. Very interesting. We'll pick this back up. Okay, there she go.
I'm sorry, but
Nah,
I've been trying to tell you, I've been trying to get on Isaiah Fact, and I don't know why you ain't hooked me up with him yet, Vince.
Because
okay.
they won't. You be surprised if
They-
they let you go, Isaiah. I'll be surprised because guess what? What you're saying will go
Yep.
against medical, and that's a problem.
Yep.
No,
we-
that's a
I've
problem. They
been.
can't. They know it. They
we-
can't do it.
Look, we free press. We own our own, so we can talk about topics. We don't
Yeah,
have
you
to
can
do.
talk here, but I'm saying if she go to somebody outside, it's a problem. And again, what they'll do
Yep.
to counteract everything what anybody's saying, they'll go and say, "Oh, a man is
Yep.
oh, people die from taking it." Well, you
Yeah.
know how much you have
Yeah.
to take to overdose on it? Because
Right.
all you do is do
Thank
it
you.
pea size.
Right. Wow.
Let me see what this man name is.
Come on, yeah. But I mean, no,
But I tell you,
Valarie.
I've been trying to get somebody show. I've been trying to get on some show because I'm trying to tell these people. I'm trying to help people. I'm just trying to help the people that's terrified of needles.
Right.
Just the ones that's terrified of needles. I found out it's men. It's also men that's terrified of needles.
Right.
So I'm trying to help somebody just to
But
get their, fear from needles.
right. I'm just because that is a step that you'd have to take when you go into the doctor's.
Right,
They're gonna want to
but
draw
Valarie,
blood.
don't they have a little tiny needle that they created? I thought they had some
Girl.
really, really
Yeah,
tiny
that
that you
needle.
could barely feel.
All the
Now,
needles, it don't matter if it's tiny. It don't matter if it's tiny, if it's baby, what you call that, butterfly needle. It don't matter what
Right,
kind of
right,
needle it is. I just have a phobia of them. And
right,
once it's like it's anxiety. It's a mind thing. Once
right,
they do what they need to do, I'm okay. But I can't even tell y'all how they even put my port, the needle, with the port. I can't even
right,
look at that. I couldn't even look. I just know I took my breath and it was done. But
right.
they say that needle longest. They say that needle long as hell. I can't tell y'all what it looked like, but I ain't never looked at it. I have
wow.
my
Yeah,
blind,
I saw you
my
with your blinders on.
my blinders,
On
my
this,
blinders stay on.
but
So
the thing is, prior to this, you had no idea about worms and tapeworms and how it works.
I ain't had no idea, Vince. I kid you not. No
See, and that's the
idea.
thing. But this is the thing. You know, you have doctors like Dr. Sebi and other doctors who
Yeah.
was talking about it, right? But they
Yeah.
don't push them out in the forefront, though.
At all.
It's not. See, the information is not
It
readily
need to get
in
out there.
our
I'm
community.
telling you all, the guy name is Joe. It was Joe Tipton's.
Okay.
That's who went to MD Anderson,
Okay.
and he was treated. They sent him home. Doctors at the MD Anderson Cancer Center in Texas told him they wouldn't give up and wouldn't put him in a clinical trial that wouldn't save. Okay, they said it says doctors at MD Anderson Cancer Center in Texas told him they wouldn't give up and would put him in a clinical trial that wouldn't save Joe, but might give him a year or so to live. So that's when his friend told him to take the fenbendazole and the ivermectin, and he was cured of cancer. And so after that, it went.
Shut up.
So people say they self-treated, even people in the latter stages. That's what I'm saying. Those people are on there. But I tell people, you have to think in your mind. Okay, then. Only thing I would like to see us get out of is that I'm like this. One of God's 7 promises is that long life, right? And that you can self-heal yourself, okay? And so we got to put in our mind that, or people need to get out of their mind, oh, that's just God's way. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Right.
We got to stop that and try to help ourselves.
Right. Yeah.
Because remember, we have a history of our people being the greatest adventures, being healers and things like that. What about them? And why are we being like, okay, that's just the way it is? No, help yourself.
But God didn't put that worm, came through the food.
I'm telling you, it's in the food. It's in the food. And
absolutely.
And that's why we weren't supposed to eat pork. Pork had those little trichina worms in them. And that's what causes a lot of Alzheimer's and dementia.
Yeah, people have, even the Alzheimer's, they're still leading that to, the pigs, it said, because they don't sweat, that stuff is like building in your knees and it can give people arthritis and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can get that. That's what caused some arthritis because of those little tiny worms or whatever. But again, the deworming. But otherwise, again, if you look up the Hulda Clark, she had linked all diseases to parasites, Parkinson, everything. To where if people would deworm, that would help. And even a lot of people who were having other problems, which I look forward to when I do it, some of your other health problems, they'll probably go away.
Thank you guys for tuning in to World Pick Radio. And till next time, we out.
Yes.
And now our sponsors.